Hi, welcome to Max Gamers. Today we'll be looking at some tips and tricks to making the most of the Su25T Frogfoot on a ground attack mission with some dangerous enemies. When attacking a hostile group in the Frogfoot, it is important to know what kind of threats you'll be facing so you can know how to approach the situation. In this case, we will be facing a group of stationary targets, including heat-seeking missile-launching enemies and radar-guided anti-aircraft artillery. I will equip the Su25T because it is a lofting, fire and forget long-range missile, the laser-guided Vickr rocket pods, the Su25ML laser-guided missiles, which can be ripple-fired and aimed at two different ground targets quickly, and the S8 OFP-2 fragmentation rocket pods to mop up soft targets at close range. When choosing your countermeasure amounts, always pick full flares because chaff does very little against modern weapon systems nowadays that rely on radar. As usual, give yourself as much time to locate the target as possible. In this example, the enemies are just on the other side of a large bridge to our right of the island in the middle of the river. Once you find the target, wait for launch authorization. If you know you are engaging the only heat-seeking missile threat in the area, then I don't see a need to deploy flares unless you are fired upon, which shouldn't happen here since the MANPADS team, Manned Portable Air Defense System team, will be the first target we engage. After they are down, we will focus on the AAA assets because they generally fire at a closer distance and are fairly inaccurate. This was a very easy and unrealistic situation, which is why I'm going to do this scenario again, but with more of a challenge. Here we will be tasked with destroying a convoy on a highway running along the river. Multiple MANPADS teams are hidden in nearby tree lines and towns. This means during our entire flight near the target area, I will be deploying flares every few seconds and activating our infrared countermeasure system installed on the Frogfoot by default to decrease the chances of an enemy missile striking our aircraft. Our TV-guided Su25Ts cannot lock onto moving targets, so our first missile should be the laser-guided Su25ML. Here I forget this fact and wait to the very last second to employ the correct missile. I also forget to activate the infrared jammer until after the first pass. The first target in our convoy will be the Shilka, a powerful radar-guided anti-aircraft gun mounted on a tank body. You can distinguish it from the other vehicles because of its tall and boxy profile compared with the shorter and sleeker tanks and BTRs. When searching for targets, it can also be identified by a small spinning radar dish. Once this is destroyed, we should focus on taking out the BTRs because they too have radar-guided cannons, but they fire at shorter ranges. If you look closely, you may be able to see the smoke trails from the MANPADS and the black detonation clouds where the missiles terminate mid-air. When one of the convoy targets is destroyed, normally the hostiles will drive off the road and become stationary. This allows us to employ our Su25T optically guided lofting fire and forget missiles. On this pass, I am able to spot the origin of a missile trail to a spot at the edge of a village. Our outer rocket pods are perfect for this sort of situation. Here, I make a couple attack runs to destroy the manpad's team to make the area safer to fly in.
Pull up.
Now that the manpads are out of action, we can better concentrate on destroying the rest of the convoy. Tracer fire shows that there is still one more hostile remaining. Pull up. Pull up. It was at this point I made a decision to return to base. I was satisfied that most of the convoy had been destroyed, and only one lightly armored vehicle remained, but the risk of being shot down for that one vehicle was not worth more attack runs, since it was too obscured by trees. Here are some clips of me running the scenario again trying to completely destroy the convoy, and it perfectly demonstrates my point about quitting while you are ahead, quite clearly. Here we are shot by a Stinger missile, which causes some engine damage to our aircraft. And one unfortunate thing about the Frogfoot is that after a missile strike damages the engine, that there's always a chance later on during your flight the engine could spontaneously explode. And that is actually what happens on my return to base, as you will see in this next clip right here. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in our next tutorial on engaging convoys with heat-seeking missile trucks.